Okay, so talking about cultural slash, I think, more time zone differences. A lot of companies have some doubts about working with other companies that are far abroad, so the time difference is pretty huge. But the good thing is that if the software development process is done right, so the Scrum routines are done in a correct way, and there's always some overlap between time zones, it's usually not a problem. It's only a bit more challenging on the client side, but that's actually a good thing. It's more challenging on the client side because they have to be more precise about what they want to do. So they need to take this into consideration that their requirements should be clear enough for the team to work on it further. But it's actually a good thing, because even if we were working with a client from our country, for example, which we sometimes do, we also require the same thing. But with clients from, let's say, US or Australia or whatever, it comes naturally. So they force themselves to be more clear, to be more precise, and to gather the requirements in the right way. And another good thing here is that our project managers help you with that. So we have a huge experience in working with clients from different time zones, even really further ones. And our project managers know exactly how to, let's say, coach the client when the cooperation begins. What is the proper way to do that? So which meetings the client has to be on? So let's say demo meetings or sprint, like planning the sprint, for example.
All this routine.
Yeah, all this routine. Yeah.
That comes with the project, all this Scrum routine, Agile routine that we implemented. We are following like also lean startup ways in terms of the development and leading the product and being business driven. So all this routine, all those meeting demos every 2 weeks, that when we, for example, introduce a new feature, makes the daily schedule, the daily agenda of our clients more orderly, more organized. Exactly.
And the other thing that we also try to do, and it worked so far very well, is as you may know or may not know, we try to be business oriented. So what does it mean? It's like a pretty simple concept actually. So we try to understand the business of our clients. So let's imagine a new product comes to us, and it's like a product that has been on the market for some time, and they need some revamping, they need some new features, stuff like that. So what we do with them is, instead of trying to like list all the features they would like to do, we try to invite them to Poland actually once a quarter, and on the beginning of each quarter we try to discuss their business goals. So we don't want to hear exactly what type of features they would like to have. We want to know what are their business goals, what do they want to achieve in terms of their business. And through that, the team sits and discusses what type of features are actually needed to achieve those business goals. Because very often the features clients have in mind, they don't know how complicated they are, and they may overcomplicate some things because of that. But if like a good engineering team and a project manager will sit with them and discuss those business goals and those ideas for features, they can strip them down to the most important parts and just focus on those, because they will actually help them achieve the business goal. So I would say that a good Scrum routine and best quarterly meetings on site. We can also go to the client if needed, but most often they come to us because they would also like to meet the rest of the company. They would like to meet the rest of the team. This actually helps to overcome the time difference. And so far we haven't seen any particular issues with that. Of course, there are some small things can arise, but we are prepared for that. So our project managers also have implemented something which is called risk matrix. So they try to manage the risks in the project. So if there is a risk and we know about it, that, for example, something very important in the system will be happening out of our time zone, we try to do everything to make it right. So We don't do deployments just day before that, so we try to limit these risks. Yeah, on Fridays. If it's needed, we try not to do that because of our culture too, but it happens in our company a few times. We can do some kind of some extra time that we will spend, for example, in the weekend just to monitor the situation. We will not be working on the weekend, but it means that somebody from the team is assigned and this person is kind of ready to answer questions. Yeah. But it never actually was needed because the way we managed the risk was actually done so well that it didn't happen. Yeah. But through the risk matrix, we can actually point out all the risks that are related to time zone too and manage them before they will actually happen.
Yeah, there's also another thing that is the daily communication, not only this routine that happens because of the demos and deployments and pull requests, etc., but it's also what happens on the daily meetings, on daily stand-ups. This is a very important thing. Our developers, if they have their own, of course, stand-up meetings with the project manager every day, they gather and they talk about what was done yesterday and what will be done tomorrow. But the client learns about it through Geekbot. We implemented Geekbot and will be implemented, of course, on every Slack because one of the first things that we do when we start the project is we ask to be added to client's Slack, and if the client doesn't have Slack, so we create the Slack channel for him, her, and we gather the whole team, and the daily communication is done also through Slack. It's very important that we use right tools. We were experimenting before with several tools, but we stayed with Jira. So far, so good. We made a lot of customizations in our Jira.
We have a fast Jira.
Exactly, let's say tailor-made in many areas. So it helps a lot. And so far we haven't seen any issues with this daily communication.
Actually, it's a good point you mentioned. I forgot about it, but it can be summed up with one word, actually. Then the word is transparency. So what also helps the distance cooperation is transparency. So through setting the Jira, through setting the Geekbot tools and many other tools we use, clients is always aware of what we are actually doing right now. Like, of course, he doesn't need to manage that because that's the project manager's role and the team itself. But there's no point in time where the client will say, yeah, what they are actually doing right now. So they have constant access to all the tools. So even if we are sleeping and they are actually beginning their day, they can just go to Jira, see the progress of all the tasks, see the issues that come up, and be on the same page as to what we are actually doing right now. Yeah. So this also helps a lot. And I would say transparency is the key to working with the long distance clients. Of course, I would say that transparency is the key to every type of cooperation, but that's like kind of my thing. But with distant clients, it's actually a must. So through the transparency, clients will actually know if they can trust you. Yeah. Because they see what you do, they see how open you are about the things. So it's easier for them, the way I see, to trust the company because they know what's going on, and this is like the key.
There's one more issue. It's the language barrier that some people believe that there is. Well, you can see that we are using English right now, so it's not an issue for us. In general, in our country, a lot of people speak good English, and we have no problem in communication. It's also about the culture, that Polish culture is Western in many areas. Therefore, we have common understanding with Germans, with English people, with Americans. So that's also why it worked. Yeah. It worked so far, and we cannot complain on our side of the communication. We also believe that our clients couldn't complain.
No, they do the opposite. Like, I have two things to say here. One is that English is pretty much well known in our country, but besides that, what we try to do is whenever a person comes to Visuality through the recruitment, we see the level of English this person has, and if we see that this can be improved, or it can be improved in just like specific areas, we have courses, English courses here at Visuality that are like one-on-one, so people have chance to work on the things they actually have to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
So because we know that all of our communication is in English, we have also only English-speaking employees from other countries. So English is the key here. All the recruitment is done in English too. So we try to also filter the people that actually speak very well. And what I wanted to say about this, that clients don't have any problems with that, and actually it's the opposite. I know for a fact that one of the clients we started working with, one of the things that also made him work with us was the English level of the people he was in touch at the sales part. So you also a project manager, engineering manager, and he said that this is really working well. Those people can really speak this language,
but
and
for
they can
many
understand
people,
us.
Listening that salespeople speak good English, it's normal, obvious, because they
but the rest of
communicate.
the
But
team
in
is
our
not.
case, it's not only that.
Yeah.
It's also how our developers speak.
Yeah. So that's that.